Let's go. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good evening, and whatever time that is. So let me get this to work. All right. How's everyone doing today? कैसा जा रहा है weekend? It's about 4:44 p.m. in Pakistan. How's it going? I'm gonna add a really quick thing right here. In the meantime, I'm gonna add source, chat box, existing source. Yes, there we go. Chat, what's happening? There we go. Hasib, I'm doing good. What about you? What did you have for breakfast or lunch? अब तक lunch हो चुका होगा, I think so. I haven't even had breakfast till now. मैं थोड़ी देर पहले ही उठा हूँ क्योंकि it's weekend. Since it's weekend, it makes sense to just sleep a bit more, you know. So I'm gonna have breakfast with you guys, and also we are going to do something interesting. So what did you have for breakfast, for lunch? All right, let's see. I'm gonna share it on Hasib, are you added on my friends list on Facebook, or did you get this notification on YouTube? Share to group, free code camp. Okie dokie. Should we learn Flutter or React Native for future? Good question. Hasib, I think React Native is really good. I would prefer it in terms of performance over Ionic. But Flutter is also really good. Specifically, Flutter's 2.0 version has been really good in terms of people adopting it. And for instance, I think one of the bigger reasons for Flutter to go up is the way they're marketing different things. For instance, Google Pay specifically is now rewritten on Flutter. Google AdSense for mobile SDK is also rewritten on Flutter. We also got, I think in Flutter now we also have their own package for AdSense. So for instance, if you have, let's say, a list of tiles and you have like pictures like pup, you could have an ad between those pictures. So let's say if you have a grid of 8 elements, you could have one of those elements as an ad, so that would incorporate right on your UI and you would still be able to monetize it. But the point is that Flutter is being pushed by Google, and it is being tried out by many different companies. For instance, I think AliExpress's mobile website is on Flutter. And then also recently I think one of the operating systems of Ubuntu have said that any or maybe it was a news company, I'm not sure, but there was a company that says that Flutter is going to be their primary choice for building any future applications. So I would suggest looking into Flutter, but if you are a JavaScript engineer, I think React Native will not be any difficult for you. Hasib got it on YouTube. Awesome, Hasib. Seems like you're subscribed to the channel. Really cool. Yusuf Qadri, same old desi nashta. Kya hai? What was it in your desi nashta? What was it? Dekho, I'm asking because I don't have desi nashta here in Stockholm, so I'm curious. I'm damn curious. Hamza Hanif Qureshi, Assalamu alaikum Ahsan bhai, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, Hamza? Anyone who's joining the chat, please make sure to leave a comment in the comment section. Press that like button, and also if you have not subscribed, do it, because it helps YouTube algorithm to show this video to more people. That helps me and the channel as well to grow. So that is totally free. You don't have to pay anything for this, and it helps me and the community as well. You already know React.js and working on it. Awesome. Then React Native should not be any difficult for you. I mean, it wasn't difficult for me at all, going from React to React Native. There are some concepts that you have to learn, but more or less it's really easy. But Flutter, it's kind of different because it works with Dart, so it's a totally different story. But it's not difficult, I would say. It's really easy to get something up and running and then trying it out for further usages. I think it's not as difficult. Lunch, rice, dal, raita. That sounds like a really good lunch. Awesome. I'm going to have this for breakfast. It's yeah, it's this. I think you also have this in Pakistan as well. But yeah, I think what I'm trying to do here is, since pandemic, I'm not going to anywhere, I'm not going to office. I think I'm trying to keep my belly fat to the minimal, and this helps. So just some milk. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's so white. Yes, that wiggly milk. And then I have just this yeah, just these flakes. Alrighty, I'm gonna quickly try to arrange different things so I can see your face, your messages as well, and then also should be able to interesting, always show messages. Let's say, I would say always show messages. Keep it right there. Yeah, looks good. All right, now your messages should always be there. Cool, awesome. So what are we building today? I did a poll in which we also had GatsbyJS selected, and also Flutter Web. What do we want to do today? Is it going to be Flutter? Is it going to be Flutter? Is it going to be GatsbyJS? What is it going to be? Riz says audio only. You're not getting any video? That's weird, because I can see myself in the YouTube studio. Unless I'm doing something wrong. You all see the video, right? You all see the video and the audio as well? All right, what are we doing today, guys? Oh no. Have you used ever front-end masters for learning? I have. Yes, I have done it several times. I think the last was React 101 that I did from front-end masters. So yes. Mohammad Hamza Hanif Qureshi says, I'm working in Gatsby. My build often fails with JavaScript styles file. It's quite difficult to answer this question, Hamza, because I would have to check your code. It's gonna be difficult to answer it as without having to look at the code. So there must be some loader missing, or what is the output that you get? Do you get an error? Do you get some kind of weirdness? Or I mean, we would have check, right? So I would say just share your GitHub, and we should be able to see what's going on, right? I'm just adjusting your chat so we all see the good messages that you folks are sharing. I still have to set up my stream in a better way, so guys, bear with me while you can. All right, let's go. This looks better, I think. Cool. So I think what we can do is we can try to create the Gatsby plugin. It could be interesting, or we could do Flutter, and we could just try to create a Flutter mobile application and then try it for web as well. What do you say? What other options did we have? We also had other options, right? Like Web Vitals. I'm not sure if you have looked at Web Vitals. I mean, we could look at some really interesting thing from Web Vitals as well, like largest contentful paint, first input delay. Try to understand why it is and how it works. That could also be done. We could also look at lit element. I'm not sure if you have looked at it yet, but it's super cool. It allows you to create web components that you can easily use with React, Angular, and whatnot. So lit element is also a really good option to go through. Kindly also add Netlify functions with Netlify CI/CD. I'm struggling in the CI pipeline. Okay. What are you using for your CI? Are you using GitHub Actions, or are you using something else? Mentioning some clean code practices. That sounds like a good plan. Yes, we can do it. I'm now thinking, would it be a good idea if we create a Flutter application, okay, and then you're using Netlify with Git repo? So I think when you upload from your Git, it just automatically does all the magic, right? So what we can do is I'm thinking now. Let's try this. We try to create a Flutter application. We see how it works on web, okay, and then we try to deploy it to Netlify using GitHub. Does that sound something that we should do today? I think it's gonna take like 1 hour at maximum. We should be able to do it. Web vitals is a good topic to cover, discussing how we can optimize sites performance. Obviously, yes, this is something that we can do. So now I have two things. One, we go with Flutter Web. We try to create a web application on Flutter. We see how it performs out of the box, if it's a PWA or not, and then we deploy it to Netlify so everyone can use it. What do you think? Now I'm getting a lot of interesting options. That's so cool. Live reviewing a couple of sites and analyze what's wrong with how we can optimize it. I think we can do that. I think we can try to optimize different things. I could take my site for example and see how we can optimize it as well. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna switch to the live screen. Cool. So this is my site that I built with GatsbyJS and whatnot. We can quickly try to analyze what is the sort of performance on this one. Okay. In the meantime, keep informing me in chat if you would like to go with Web Vitals, or if the Flutter Web sounds like a good plan to you, because we are going to code something in Flutter out of the box. If we go with Flutter, we are going to create the web application, analyze its performance, maybe fix some things that are not correct there, and then finally we should be able to publish it on Netlify as well. So that's one thing that we could do. But analyzing the site performance is really easy. You go to any site, you open Chrome DevTools, make sure that you are on the latest DevTools. For instance, right now, where is the about Chrome? Yes. So right now I'm on Chrome 89, and it has some really good features that came out of the box. So make sure you're on one of the latest versions, and then you go here, you try Lighthouse, which is embedded inside this. So it says, and this is really informative. For instance, there may be stored data affecting loading performance at this location. IndexedDB ordered displayed in incognito window to prevent those sources. So it's better that we do it in incognito, so we can avoid any extensions or interference. Now we go to Lighthouse, you see there's no warning here, and then we can just generate the report, and that should be actually it. So let's see how my site performs when it comes to Lighthouse edits. So I know about some problems that are there. So if you have a look here, I've already optimized it a lot. I mean, in terms of SEO, best practices, accessibility, and whatnot. There are still some issues that we should be able to fix. We can start with this, and then we can perhaps look into Flutter if you think that's a good idea. So let's go through some things that we can see about performance. So how many of you have already used Lighthouse CI? Can you tell me? Or Lighthouse in general? And even if you have not used it, I think it's fine. But we can go through some of the things that you should be looking at when you want to kind of view the analytics of your, or the performance of your sites. So As you can see, most of the things are really good. It is not a PWA, and there's a reason for that, because I was having trouble with the service worker still showing old content for my site. I didn't like it, so I basically removed it. All right, we'll go through Web Vitals then. Raza Zaidi has used it, really good. So let's go through some of the things that we can think of when we are using this. So first, contentful paint is the point when we see the very first page that is shown to a user, so that has some content. If this is more than 3 seconds, then a lot of people usually leave your site before this even happens. For instance, I can show you in a different way as well that you can monitor. What would be the method? Mohammed Hamza Hanif says, what would be the method through that we can optimize our Gatsby application to be 100% optimization? Can it's possible? As you can see, it's almost 100%. There are some issues that we can resolve, and this is built with GatsbyJS. So yeah, it depends on what is the problem with your site, and then we can also try to optimize it. In fact, that's a really good idea. If in the next session we could also try to have a look at Hamza's website if the code is available on GitHub, and we can try to optimize it as much as possible as well. Maybe create a PR for that, or sounds like a good plan to me. All right, so performance. So what I can do in any site is I can just click record here, and then it starts to profile. No, I don't think this is the one. Oh, this is the one. No, this is not the one. It's in the network, I think. Yes. And there is something, capture screenshot. Yes, this is the one. So if I hit Control R, see what happens. It loads the site, and immediately it also captures the screenshots. Okay, here what happens is, if I go here, I can check what was the snapshot at a particular second. For instance, at 1 millisecond, this was the snapshot. Then it started reloading, and then 2 seconds, 2.45 seconds, and it kind of loads everything as it is. And then in about, let's say, so you can see that this was fading in as the image was loading, but we can consider the content being there without the image being loaded in about 2 to 6 milliseconds, or even 1 millisecond, for instance. Okay, so this is really fast. And if I wanted to see how much it would work on slow 3G or on devices with a slow network, I could just throttle it using slow 3G, and then I can hit Control R, and then we can see, hey, on a slow network, or how would it perform, how much time would it take to be at a point. So you can see instead of 1 millisecond, it's 2 milliseconds. It's still good. If I even go to, let's say, 4 seconds, or in 2 seconds, you can see that we do get the content laid out, which means the user is able to scroll it, click on a link, and that's it. So this is one way of checking your site's performance in terms of network. Now, the first contentful paint, as we said, is so for instance, the first contentful paint marks the time which the first text or image is painted, which again is what I said, you should be able to see the content. So you can learn more about this here on the web dev. I'm sharing the link on the chat as well. And again, guys, as I said before, if you are joining it right now, please make sure to press the thumbs up button, and also chat in the comments, and also make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for the next videos. Hamza Hanif says, I mean, what would be the factors that we need to look about performance? Like, I know the assets font, but other kindly mention. So Hamza, this is what we are talking about. First contentful paint, time to interactive. These are all the things that you need to know in terms of performance. That's what I'm actually talking about. But when you look into it, and when you look at the performance, or actually the figures, why it is being slow, you can then also see in these sections how you can improve this. For instance, this is one of the things that you said about fonts. So when you don't have a font loaded, by default what happens is that it either flashes or it doesn't display at all. Okay, so until the font is loaded, how do you make sure that the user still sees something? So we have something called font swap, font display swap. This is the one. So this makes sure that if your font is not loaded at the moment, it uses the default system font. So the text in your application will still be visible right away as your website is loaded. So this is one of the things that you could do. Similarly, you have preload fonts, which makes sure that your fonts are preloaded earlier. There are a lot of code labs as well that we can do to make sure that our fonts are loaded beforehand before the content loads. So these are some of the things that you can do. So first, contentful paint is one of the core metrics on which Google kind of identifies your site's speed. Okay, so we have this one in correctly. I think if I go deep into every one of this, it's gonna take a lot of time and we might not be able to do actually anything, but we would be just reading things that you can do on your own as well. But I think what we can try to see is where the performance is lacking and how we can improve it. So let's see, how can we improve? So we have some issues in accessibility. We have 100% best practices and SEO, but we do have a 95% accessibility. Similarly, we have some audits here as well. For instance, see this. The critical request chains below shows what resources are loaded with high priority. Consider reducing the length of chains, reducing the download size of resources. So it seems like we have these fonts that we load and they are in the critical path. Okay, and the critical path is the path where we are loading the resources, and without loading them the page would not render. Okay, or it kind of blocks the rendering of the page. So how do we try to fix this one? I mean, what would be the factors? No, recently fixed a problem with preload fonts. Awesome, that sounds really good. So some of you have already been working with the performance. That's really good. So we've got this. Now let's see how we can improve this. So it says that blah blah blah, critical request chain, series of dependent work, and then we have this. How Lighthouse identifies critical request change. Okay. Minimize the number of critical resources. Okay. Mark them as async and so on. Optimize the number of critical bytes to reduce download time. Okay. And then we have blah 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 blah, web fonts. So what we can do here is, as you said, preload the fonts. That is one thing. And then don't use a custom font on initial page load. This ensures the browser displays tag immediately using a system font. Detect. Okay, option 1 is font face, font family Helvetica, and then you use a font swap. Okay, so I think this is what we are not doing at the moment, so we can try doing this. Let me quickly bring up my code editor, and then we can quickly try out this to get this done. All right, so this is my site, and what we would want to do is to use the font swap. So I'm gonna bring this down for now. Is the code visible to every one of you, or should I zoom in a bit? Well, this happens every time I open the VS Code. So let's see where we are using the font family. So we are using it here. Where else? That's interesting. Let's see. So we are using Montserrat Latin, Meriwether Latin. All right, there we have it. So we are using these files here and we are loading them. Okay, but then in layout.js, this is where we are using it, Montserrat sans serif. And are we using Meriwether anywhere? Let's see. I think I'm gonna try to search font family. Okay, so if I go here and try to see what am I using as a computed font family, it's Meriwether, Georgia and serif, and this comes from where exactly? H3 index. Pretty print, yes. So let's see where this comes from. Now this is interesting. I think this is being applied from the theme and not us, right? This is some CSS file which is coming from the theme, I believe so. Or it's typography.js. All right, let's see. Yeah, there we have it. And then it uses the theme. Yep. If it's not production, then we check style, blah blah blah. Okay. All right, so this was a theme that I used, and it seems like we have some things pre-configured here. So how can we make sure that this is preloaded? I'm thinking now. Well, instead of importing this into the JS, we could try to import it in the HTML. Let's see. So let's see where we have this. So we have the font family, we use swap. Let's do this at least for this one that we have. So font family, we are using it here, and then we use a font display as in swap. First thing first, the second thing that we need to do is to also preload the elements. So verify okay. All right, let's try this out now. So we do a Gatsby build. Very good. I'm gonna do a yarn build, and then we should be able to create the build, and now we should be able to also see if this fixes anything. All right, and now the second thing that I'm thinking about is preload, or not preload, but yeah, preloading GatsbyJS theme fonts. So it seems like we have something here. The plugin preloads all necessary fonts per route to decrease time to first meaningful paint. Look at this, we already have a plugin here. Did you Hamza, did you use the same plugin to solve the issue, or did you use something else? I'm gonna try to up this camera a bit. I don't want you to see my face while I'm eating. All right, this is much better. All right, so Hamza, did you use the same plugin? And let's see how this fixes things as well. So you do a preload fonts, then it GatsbyJS, you use plugins. Before building your application, you will need to generate font asset map using the included blah blah blah. All right, you do this. Okay. And then what we do is using with the CI. If you're planning to use this plugin in CI, you can sign your CI equals true. Okay. You can also increase optimization with static site generation in Gatsby. Yes, that is true. We can do that as well. I'm gonna try to use this plugin so it loads it automatically and we don't have to do the heavy work. But essentially, yes, this should. What? Oh, I do. Oh shit, that's bad. What did we do? Swap? No, this got changed for now. I don't have the latest code. That's not good. Now I have the latest code. I need to run yarn, and then we do it. I think I say we try this out, this preload fonts, and then we see if our audit passes. Okay, so I'm gonna install this. I'm gonna quickly see if I'm using yeah, I'm using yarn. So let's create one more. So we do a simple yarn add Gatsby plugin preload fonts. In the meantime, oh, I'm running two yarn at the same time. How cool. Maybe not so cool. All right, let's see. Yeah, it says, what are you doing? Stop. I'm already running a yarn script. I'll let this one finish. All right, almost there. Cool. Now we have edited. We do a package JSON script creation. We go here and then we see the scripts, and then here we do a preload fonts. So we do this, and then we add this to the plugins. So we go to Gatsby config.js, and then where we have the plugins, we also add this, save this, and then before building we run preload fonts. Okay, so we do a yarn preload fonts. Let's try this out. Could not establish a connection with local dev server, blah blah blah. GraphQL. Do I have to run it? Interesting. Okay. Yarn develop. That's weird. I thought this might run without having to run the preload fonts. Let's see. It seems like I have to run it. So before building your application, you need to generate font as a map using the included blah blah. Okay, whatever. If you're planning to use the plugin in your CI, you can environment variable CI equals true. Okay, I can try this one as well. But before we do yarn preload fonts, now it should connect. So it seems like it connects with the it connects with the calling routes. Let's see. Hasib, what do you mean by increasing the optimization with static site generation? How would you do it? Do you have any link to the article that we can do? All right. All right, so a mapping between our application has been generated. I think what we need to do here is in the package JSON, we need to do a CI equals true, because I do want to see if it runs without having to run the server. Okay. All right, so if I do CI equals to true, npm run Gatsby preload fonts. No, that was not correct. It should have been this. CI equals true, node modules pin Gatsby preload fonts. Okay, so it seems like we only can run this when we are running the dev server. So we have to do it in our we have to create this font cache ourselves every time. Okay, I'm only concerned because I can't forget about this one. Nabil Hassan, how's it going? Good morning, good evening. All right, so now we have done this, what we can do is try this. Make sure and set the following variables if necessary. Hold. Alright, so it really needs us to run Gatsby develop first. Anyways, that sounds good. So let's try to do a yarn build, which means that now we should have preloaded fonts and we should be able to compare if this whole process fixes our things or not. All right, we got some error. MailChimp endpoint required must be didn't I have? Oh yeah, I don't have. All right, give me 1 second. I need to do something. I need to have an env file in my system so I can generate the build, and I don't have that in there in my PC, but I do have that in here. So I'm gonna push it really quick. Let's see. There we go. So it should be in work. No, it should be in personal side, and then it should be in all right, let's see. There we go. I found the file and I should be able to now just share it. All right, I'm gonna go and share it on my Slack. Yes, there we go. So what we need to do here is we need to create a file named env.development. No, just env.development. And in this file we do need to create something. So I'm gonna do that something real quick. I'm gonna open my Slack. And I'm gonna copy my code. Yes. And so we have this, and we should be able to create it now. Let's see. So I'm not sure if you have used MailChimp or not, but I recently added the newsletter to my site. So if you have not subscribed to the newsletter, you can also go here, just enter your name and subscribe, and you will be notified about every next email that you'll get. All right, then we need to do a copy, a paste, in which we'll rename this, and then we'll just do a production, and we are good. So let's see now. What? Oh, should be .env and dot production. My bad. Always the typos. Now we are trying to build it, so it seems good. All right, let's see. Okay, we have now built this, so we can quickly do HTTP server, and our build is created right here in public. I should have run clean because I see a lot of files, right? But yeah, so we do a public, we do a control click, open, wrong place, so we go here, try it out here. Our site loads super instantly. We go to Lighthouse, generate report, and then we'll see how this performs compared to ours. Oh, this is the wrong one. Where is my incognito? This is the one, yes. So duplicate, open, go here, here, and now we run the Lighthouse. Let's see if all of our problems get solved, right? Okay, so the largest contentful paint is not good. Serve static sites with cache policy. Okay. All right, I don't see the issue that we had before with here. Let's try this again. So we had this issue for avoid chaining critical request. Let's see if we have this here again. So I don't see avoid chaining critical request anymore, which means that problem has been solved. It does say serve static site with efficient cache policy, which means that we are not doing it, but I'm not sure if it's just related to Gatsby or the fact that we are running this on a local server. So let me quickly push this code so we can be sure of what's happening. Git add dot commit, or we could say perf fonts preloading fonts for instant caching, and then we push it, it goes to Netlify, problem solved. Now while this is being happening, I want to look into another issue that is related to accessibility. Okay, so for accessibility, we do have a 95 score. We also have some issues with this. For instance, in fact, there's one really interesting thing that I want to talk about. And why wasn't it here? Now I'm confused. Oh, it is here. It is here. All right, so look at this. This is a really interesting thing within Web Vitals as well, but it is also a thing that is there in a lot of applications, which is called a layout shift. So a layout shift is something that replaces its place once it is rendered. Okay, so look at these things and know that these things basically move when they are rendered. So for instance, you can see that this read more button, it shifts. This mobile development thing, it shifts. This button shifts, and this logo also shifts. And you will see this if I refresh. You see this font is shifting, so it basically replaces its place. Now how can we try to assess this, and how can we make sure that this layout shift doesn't happen? So one of the things that you can do is you can go to performance, and then you can record your performance, and then you can see when a layout shift happens. So if I stop this and if I look at this place, you can see that this whole experience tab shows the layout shifts. So what I can do is I messed it up. Where is the scroll bar? Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. So you see that in this whole timeline where it does a lot of things, evaluate JavaScript, run microtasks, blah blah blah, we do have this layout shift. Okay, so if I click on this layout shift, I can actually see what shifted from which position to which position. Okay, so if we try to look at this, blah blah blah, cumulative score, let's see what this relates to. I'm gonna bring this down a bit. So one occurrence, and then this is a whole one occurrence. And if I have clicked this, does it show me what file is this? The last time I checked this, it used to show where, or at least on hovering, where this thing is that shifted. Location for now it shows. So if I clicked here, you can see that if I move here, this is the initial position and this is the last position. So it moved from this place to this place. If you look at it closely, it's a really small difference, but it is a difference. So look at this. If I move over, the from position has a little bit of space from this H, so you can see that there's a gap from the H, right? And now if I move down, you can see that it's right on the edge. So basically what's happening is it shifts while the font is loaded, and therefore we have a layout shift, and that's what we need to avoid having. So I can stop it, and then I can see the occurrence from location here to here, then from here to here. Okay, this is the text, so it moves from one place to another, and then so forth. Now we should be avoiding any layout shifts, but then it depends on if we can try to avoid the layout shift or if we cannot, because this content that you see, this is sort of a dynamic text that we have, and then we have this read more. Now if I go down, you can see that this read more is at a different place. Now these are 2 lines, and then we have this read more. Okay, so further if I go here, it's now 3 lines, and then this is 2 lines. So this read more will be switching its places depending on the content. I don't want to go into this one at the moment because this could take much more time. And from this location to this location, it's exactly the same. What? You see this red dot here at the very top? So initial position is this, and then the final position is this. Okay. Related node is SVG. Yeah, it really needs a lot of optimization here, or a lot of debugging, so it's gonna be pretty hard. If you just have a look at the web vitals, you will see that it shows us the first contentful paint. It also shows us the layout shifts that our application had, interestingly, from here, and it also shows us some other matrices which are related to the actual web vitals. For instance, DOM content loaded, first paint, first contentful paint, then we have the onload event, and then we have the largest contentful paint. So these are the web vitals that you might be looking for. Now I think that for this whole analysis, what we can move forward to is again to the Lighthouse and see what else can we do to improve the accessibility. So one of the things, I'm gonna keep this right here, but let's move to the accessibility. So in terms of accessibility, one of the things that is a problem right here is we have a header, and then we have an A element, and then we don't have any heading elements in between. So one of the things that comes into accessibility from a Lighthouse perspective is whenever we do have heading elements, we should have them from greatest to smallest. For instance, this should not be H1. Properly ordering headings that do not skip levels convey semantic structure of the page and making it easier to navigate and understand when using assistive technologies. So if we go and read about this, then that means that by default we should not have an H3. For example, using an H1 element on your page title and then using H3 elements for page main section will cause audit to fail because H2 level is skipped. Now we have to see in our code base if we are using any H1 at the very top or if we have skipped things. So you can see that here we are using a header H2, but then going down we are using an H3. So should we be using H1? That is one question. Or should we be using an H2? So let's try to run this into develop mode, and then we'll see if this fixes the issue. So I'm going to run it in develop mode, and then I'm going to try to fix this h3 thing. Also, if we go down, how to poorly structure headings, then we have h1, then section, h2, and then h3. Okay, one way to check your heading structure to ask if someone created an outline of my page using headings, what would make sense. That is accurate. So the key point here is that do not use just any h element because you like to do it. Make sure that they are in the hierarchical order. So I think that is a key takeaway from here. So we go and do a localhost 8000, and then we run a lighthouse against this one. Now if I run this against this development mode, it's going to be poor as hell. So I'm still going to do it, and then we are going to see how bad it is when running in development mode. Let's see. Now this is taking some good time. I'm going to go back to lighthouse, and then we are almost done with this. Name and labels, these opportunity. Interesting. Starting to like lighthouse more. Is it taking so much time because of being in incognito? Interesting. Links do not have a discernible name. I don't know how you pronounce it. Link text and alternate text for images when used at links is discernible, unique, and focusable, improves the navigation experience for screen readers. Okay, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Should I cancel it and run it again? Should I not? I'm tempted to click on it, but then what happens if it just needs one more second, you know? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. All right, refresh, generate report. Come on, lighthouse. Too much warm up. And once this is done, we should be able to see further things. But let's try to add a name or an alt tag to each image, an alternate text for each image. Okay, I'm gonna learn more. So link text that is discernible, unique, and focusable improves navigation experience. For instance, we have failing elements ahref blah blah blah. How to add accessible names to links? Check out ahref your guide to blah 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 html. Okay, avoid filler words like here or read more. Okay, put the most meaningful text into the link itself. Okay, that makes sense. Learn more about label buttons and links. Okay, so then that means that what we have in our image text like this one is we have an a tag, and inside we don't have any text. So should we add a text inside? I mean, if we do that, then or maybe then what we would want to do is to have a handler instead of the a tag, because you know, if we have the a tag, the anchor tag, then we also need a text around it, something like this. So this is not descriptive enough. So instead of having the a tag, we could just bind click handlers and just use them. So what we can do is we can go to the code and then try to find out where we have this issue. So we should be having it in source, templates, blog posts, and this whole code is up on my GitHub, so you can go there and experiment as well. But essentially this is the main thing, and then this, so it's not in blog post, it should be in blog post item, no, maybe blog post item, yes. So we have the text here, and then we have the image here, and then this is the link that we have. So maybe we don't want a link, but we rather want an hashtag. What happens if we try to put this here, you know? All right, so this is finally done. The page loaded too slow. Great. Remove unused JavaScript. CommonJS, Socket.io. I'm not even using these. This is sad. All right, let's go and try to open this into a new tab. We have this one here, and now in the link tag I added a text, and that text is not here, which means I have not saved it. So if I save this, and now we have this tag here, which is this. So we either try to hide this tag, or so you can see in this accessibility tab as well if the links text is there or not. But what I want to try is I think the better way would be to not use the link tag and use a click handler instead. So what we do here is that we create a div, and then we create an image tag inside, and then we pass this to the on click. Or actually put it on the div. Yes, event. Do we need event? No. On blog image click, and we go here, and then we create the function here, blog image click, and then we have the post here as well, the slug is here as well. So we do a window dot open, and then we do a URL, I need to do a function here, post retrieves a slug, and we do a target blank, and then we do a no opener, yeah, no opener, no referrer. Need to do this. Let's see if this works. So I'm here, it opens it right away, looks good. We don't need the blank, to be honest, so I'm gonna leave it here. Okay, let's remove whole of this, try this out. Interesting. Blog item.js. It opens it. Window.open in the same tab. This is a good question as well. Why don't we use this location.href? Self makes sense. Okay, so we do a self and see if this works. Yes, it does. Finally, in invalid DOM property class, where do we have this? Do we have a class somewhere? There we have it. Class name. All right, let's try this out now. Visible non-interactive element click handler must have at least one keyboard listener. Okay, interesting. It's a learning every time. The trusty Stack Overflow. Hamza Mohammad Khan, I'm good. How are you doing today? What did you have for lunch? Okay, yes, always. It's the trustiest thing you could ever do. When we do on key change down, what? No. Warning, static require role, no static element interactions. I'm gonna try to do this as well. All right, anyways, so I go back, I try this out, and now I think it should be at least the only thing that I don't like about this one is you see that it reloads the entire page, whereas if I click this, you see it changes the content. See, it doesn't reload the page. But if I go and try to tap here, now it has to reload the entire page, and that sucks. I don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm gonna go back and change this back, make this link again. Okay, put an alt tag here, which should be the title. Hide text content CSS. let's see. This is one way text indent blah 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 background blah, 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 no wrap. Okay, someone's a hacker. The answer is to create a span with property. I'm not sure if we should have a text span inside or no. No, I don't want that. No. Okay, so yeah, do not use display none. This is a really good point. So what we want is screen readers to be able to see this in terms of accessibility. So we should be able to, when we click this, when we have this h1, no, it was the element, yeah, this one. So we have, no, not this one, go back, this one. So when we have the a tag here, inside we should have this text, so it gets the information. Now if I remove this, okay, we have the link. How do we okay, I'm confused a bit. So on the a tag you can see that area labeled by not specified, area label not specified, the title is not specified, okay, content is this. But if I go here, remove this, and now we try this out, would this still be the same? I don't think so. So if I go to check a tag, the link, this is the link tag, this is not the a tag. So it has this, then generic, then image. So this link, all right, we could try to do this. We could try to do this, and we could try to have this element there. All right, let's put it back. And then we also try to see how we can hide this with CSS. I'm gonna go with this hacker dude, this guy. So we have a link here. Can we style this? I think we should be able to style this, right? So we do have, let's say I would add a div here and then put it here, and then I would potentially have the class name, image link, and then I'm gonna go to the CSS, put this image link there, and then copy this. So it should be something like this. So I'm gonna say, hey, take the code from the hacker and do the magic. What is the image PNG? Shows the image. We need an image. That means I don't want an image. All right, will this crash? Will this be okay, so we got image link. Are we actually importing the CSS file here? No. Yes. No. Import block post item.css. Something happened. Something has happened. I'm not sure if the best thing that's happened, but something has happened. So text indent 999 blah blah blah, width 600 pixel. I don't want that. Height 100 pixel. I don't want that. So now we are hacking the hacker's code. White space, no wrap. Okay. So if I don't use the background, I can simply do a text indent minus 999999999 thingy, and I think that should be enough. I don't need anything else. What if I do a height 100, not 100 pixel, but a 0? Ooh, no, the height wouldn't work. Sorry, I don't want a height. I don't want a height. I don't want this. No. So image link has a text indent of 999, which only applies to the title, right? We don't have any other title, and we have the small out of this div, which means that this is not going to be affected. So I just go here, or maybe I can just put it right here actually. No. Yes. All right, so we've got something right here. Now if I want to do this a thingy, no. The problem is, if I give this a height, you can see that it all boils down really fast because the image is inside it. You know, the image is right inside it. That's why. So yeah, let's keep it like this. I mean, I could do some things to fix this. For instance, I could go here and try to so we have this image. Okay, if we wanted, we could do a position relative, because I don't want the space above, you know, I don't want the space. So I could simply say top minus 20 pixel, and then the image goes there as well. But I don't want this to be too hacky, so I'm gonna leave it as it is for now, and then I'm gonna find out what we can do with this. Maybe a negative margin, maybe I'm not sure. Margin top minus 20 pixel. Yay, there we go. So a margin moves everything up top, which should, oh, there we go. Hacker man. So I'm gonna put this thing here, and this should actually make things better for us. Let's run the lighthouse test. Let's run it. I want my coffee. I do want my coffee. How are we doing with time? Okay, it seems like we are almost out of time for today, but we should be able to wrap up the last thing, I think. Let's see, there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Lighthouse, no. Where's my incognito? There it is. So there was one more thing. What was it? Heading elements, we talked about this. What we need to do in here is we did have the h3 tag, so we need to convert this into an h1. Or what is this one? This is h1, right? So we need to have this into an h2. Or we actually don't, confused. Let's do this. Let's go to layout.js. In here we have the logo header. I'm not going to use a div here. I'm going to use this here. Yeah, I'm going to use a div here. Then I'm going to use the scaling. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, yeah, I'm not closing this div. This is the div. All right, so wait a second. Command 0, command 0 looks exactly the same, but now it is not a header. So far so good. We can go with this one. If it's not this, then we also need a div. We shouldn't be having a h3, I think. So we do this. We go to a page and we see this. Now this is not appropriate, so we might need to scale it up a bit. What I will do is I'll put a scale to this, maybe, and then we'll just scale it to 1.5. but not giving it a font size. So we got it this big. We don't want it this big. We want it to be, let's say, a 0.7. Why does it open this every time? All right, this is what we want. So this is good. On homepage it looks like this. On here it looks like this. So we have got rid of the h1 thingy. Go to best practices, accessibility, adding elements not sequentially ordered. So we had h3 style. Yes, I know. So instead of that, we are going to go ahead to the blog post item.js, and here we also want this to be a div. Let's see how this impacts. Do we have a specific style for h3? I need to see this. So yes, we do have an h3 style for Merriweather, blah 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 blah. So instead of having that, we could have something like, or let me see. What I need to do is I need to go here, check the styles, of h3, and then what I need is header, and then do this, and I need to go to blog post item. We did change the div, then we give it a class name, blog header. Should be good. Yes, it is. One of the things that I need to do is we need to be able to, so on SN it has a margin top, which is this, so I need to give it here as well. Why? Because on my side it looks like this, bad. So save it, go back here, refresh, blog header. What happened? Oh, I'm overriding it here. There we go. There we go. Looks good. So no header now, which means there shouldn't be any problem with Lighthouse regarding the header thingy. So we have fixed two issues, to be honest. We have fixed the issue with fonts. They should be preloaded fast. We also fixed an issue of the heading elements, that should be also fast. We also fixed the issue of links do not have discernible name, that should be fixed. We also fixed this, all of these images, but we didn't fix these icons. So we need to fix we need to provide a value for these images as well. These ones, no, not these ones, but these ones. Okay, so I'm gonna go to bio.js. No, bio.js here, and then we have the alt here, but we don't have an alt on any of the social, so I'm gonna need to go to social. Okay. Now this is interesting because I do want this to be an A tag. But I can't have this as an A tag. Okay. Open social const open social equals, no, what am I doing? Equals this, and then we give it can't we just have this? Why do I need to have this F8 Twitter? What happens if I just do this? I just want to see. So I refresh and I go down. Oh, I need the class. It doesn't work without the class. Yeah, we need the class. So let's do this. Let's try to I'm thinking how to kind of do it in a clean way. So we're going to create an array of social links or socials, for instance, and in each one we are going to have a link. We're gonna have a class. We're gonna have a size, maybe. No, we don't need a size, but a class, and yeah, so this class and this link, I think that should be it. All right, so let's start with Twitter. So we go here and then we, or at least create, let's say 5 of these. 3, 4, 5. Okay, we created this. Now we kind of optimize it. Someone asked about keeping the code clean, so I think this is one way of doing this. If you don't want to repeat your code, so this is one way of doing things. There we go, link, and then sorry, what was the last one that I picked? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Then we have GitHub, then we have LinkedIn, and then we also have one more. That one is YouTube. Okay, So we post it here. Oh, we also have the component, this one. So component FA Twitter. Similarly, we have yes, I'm gonna be free in 5 minutes, so you can prepare. Okie dokie. Then we have FA Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So we go here, component Facebook, component Instagram. Then we have a component FA GitHub, component FA LinkedIn, LinkedIn, and then finally component FA YouTube. Do you have any questions on what I'm doing right now? I mean, are you confused? Should be. Don't know. Alright, what I want to do is to get rid of all this text and just use a loop to go over all of this. Okay, so FA Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, GitHub, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm gonna quickly go here and do this. FA Twitter, FA Facebook. Coding is fun, right? Instagram, FA GitHub, FA LinkedIn, and finally FA YouTube. And now that I've done this, I can quickly loop over the socials and create some links. So I can do socials.map social, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to return a div with a class name that is going to be the social.class. Then I'm gonna do a social.component with a size to size, and on click I'm gonna pass open social with this social. Okay, so I'm gonna pass this, and then finally when I get this, I'm gonna get the social here, and I can simply say window.open. Oh no, I don't. Then again the problem would be I wouldn't have. Oh no, I can. My bad. I want to open this into a new tab. So social.link, and then it's gonna be blank. Okie dokie, and I'm gonna remove, or at least comment out all these, and now we'll see if everything looks good. It kind of does. Everything is shrinked though, and that would be because we are using a margin right somewhere. Yes, socials A. So what we need here is we do have a social, and then we have a social.class. So we could say FA. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Or will it fail? Refresh, my friend. You are stuck, bro. Oh, this is gone. Maybe not. Let's see. I refresh. I see the error. I try to find what's happening. Okay, yeah. I need a key prop for each of them. So we do a key of social.link. There we go. Problem solved. Now these are not being highlighted, which means my static class didn't work, right? Let's see. CSS class starts with, there we go, there we go. So we need a this, this, actually this, and we say fa dash magic. Let's see. There we go. Look at this. Look at this mastery of CSS. So we've got the socials and then the FA, and then you can see that the FA has a 10 pixel right, and then we have all the styles as well. Now there should be a cursor pointer. There we go. And now if I click on something, I should be able to open it as well. Cool. So we've got this fix as well in form of this issue with the images as well. So I think we are good. We should be getting 100% accessibility when we push this. So let's push the code, let's wait for the build, and then we should be able to see everything working, you know. All right, so we do have the changes. Always a good idea, always a good idea to review your changes. Post CSS changes this, okay. Blog post item, I've changed all of this, yes. Socials, yes. JS, precisely yes. And then I fix this class name shit, yes. All right, git commit m perf accessibility fix accessibility issues, push, and now we should be able to fix this. We're gonna go to our GitHub and then we'll try looking at the Netlify build. So I'm gonna close this incognito. Let's go to github.com/snirs, go to my site. We've got the build being created, and as it is being created, we can think about wrapping up. Yep, we can think about wrapping up now. Awesome. All right, so yes, that was about performance thingy improvements, blah blah blah. We did some good stuff there, and it was fun. Aditya Shishagri subscribe, thank you so much. Harshit Srivastav, thank you so much for subscription as well. Getting back, cool. I think my site's performance should be up to 100% now, and we should be good, to be honest. Once we have built and deployed the application, we should see some significant progress. Restarting compilation hashes, generating image thumbnails, okay. That makes sense. All right, everyone, I think this is going to be it. And let's see. Build is completed. It should be now reflected on our website. So we go here, we refresh. It looks good so far. So we are going to try out the CI or lighthouse audit on this one. Go here, generate report. Let's see how we did after all of this magic that we just did. We'll see if our application is more performant, more accessible, because last time the performance was 97 and the accessibility was a bit low. The performance is 97 still. What does it say? Background and foreground colors have a significant contrast ratio. Why? But which elements? Is it because the text that we did for the A tag? Maybe. Could it be? Or should we actually now I'm confused. Should we actually make it a single element? Maybe. Now I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna quickly go and fix this. Blog post item.js. Let's see. Develop. Now that I think about it, I don't even need the text indent, to be honest. Let's see. Can I put a span in there? Maybe, not sure. What if I put a span in there and then we hide the span and we have an image link span opacity 0. Let's try this. I mean, we have the text, so if we want to check the accessibility, we do have the text here, and then we should be good to go. I don't want another commit to be generated for the history, so I'm gonna push it with an F, and I'm going to try to run an audit against this, and once this is done, I can quickly do the upload to Netlify and check it out if this works fine. So I'm gonna go back to my deploys, and the deploy is running, and once this is finalized, we can also try to see it working. And I'm going to try to do a lighthouse audit here as well in the meantime on localhost, to see how this works on develop. But having the text indent 9-9999 actually, yeah, that actually messed up everything. Replacing the 99 pixel hack, new image replacement. All right. All right, I think once this is merged, this is deployed, I'm gonna sign off for today, and then we'll see how this goes.
Hello, today I wanted to show you how easy it
All right, the build is completed. We're gonna try to go to here, refresh, clear this up, try to generate the report, and see if it was the text that messed up everything or something else. Yes, it was. So do not use the hack. that is our learning. So accessibility is now 100%, which means we have everything fixed up in terms of accessibility. So our links are readable, they work fine, everything looks good. Cool. The only thing that we have left in making the performance 97 from 97 to 100 is these things. Keep request count low and transfer size is small. Yeah, something like this. We gotta do something about these. This is the largest contentful element painted within the viewport. Okay. Okay. So one trick of avoiding this to happen is maybe it takes about 1 second. Maybe we can just show a div like a placeholder, and then just show it. So this should bring elements down as well. With these tags, I think we'll have to do something as well. Non-composite animation, which is this coming from? Color, width, fill. Okay. Okay, we're using some SVGs in the file in the app. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, I think maybe it's this one. Anyways, I think what we can do is we can wrap up the session for today with these learnings that we did think in Lighthouse. I think in the next section we will have something more concrete, since this was just an unplanned session and we just went away with it, I think in the next time we will try to do something concrete, something that has some value out once we are done with this. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do it. If you have not pressed that like button, do it. It's absolutely free, and I'm gonna see you in the next one then. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining in, guys.